Okay, in the previous video we talked about the distance, and that's what we're going to do again. We are developing the topic. We're going to construct the formula, the distance formula. That's really what the goal here is. So we had 2 points. Better get the pen ready to go. We had 2 points in the plane, and we were finding the distance between both these points, and what we used was a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Okay, the Pythagorean theorem, call that the Pythagorean equation there. And we knew this distance, and if we remember, this was the origin. The x coordinate was 0 and the y coordinate was 2, and then we knew this distance here. We knew that we went up 3 units. So the y coordinate here was 0 and the y coordinate here was 3. Okay, but what if we were some arbitrary point over here, right, and we wanted to find this distance right here? Well, this was nice because we knew that we just went over 2 units. Okay, but when we're over here somewhere, we can't just go, oh, we're going over, X number of units. So there's a formula that we're actually going to come up with to figure this out. So for example, let's say that I'll pick a random point here. Well, we got to get our pen going. What is this? All these changes, leave. Okay. So let's just pick something here. Let's pick this point, and let's pick this point here. Okay, and we want to find the distance between these 2 points right here. So once again, it's much like the what we just discussed using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we need to find this distance right here, and then we're going to need to find this distance. I'm going to go ahead and write this ordered pair right here. So let's do that. So we know that we're coming over 4 units. So we know that our x is 4, and we're coming up 2 units. Okay. Let's go ahead and write this ordered pair now. So we go over 2 units, but this time we go down, looks like 2 units. It's -2. Okay, let's focus on just the finding this distance right here. So we know that there's a 4. I'll just put a 4 here because this is the x coordinate, and I'm just going to put a 2 right here. Okay, and we need to find this distance, so let's just give it an array like that, and we'll call this distance here between here and here a. So to find this distance, what you can do is take 4. See, what you're doing is you're looking at the distance between here and the y-axis. So that would be 4 units. All right, let's just draw this right up over here. I'm going to call this delta x. Delta x is considered to be the change. Okay, so 4 minus, we subtract off this piece right here, 2, and we're left with 2 units. So as you can see here, the distance between, and of course you could just look at this and know the distance, right? But it's not going to be so obvious later on in the picture. Right, so A, this distance right here, which we call A, is 2. All right, let's go back up over here. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So A, how did we get A? Remember, A was delta x, we said. We called it, you know what, let's just call this one here delta y. Okay, and we'll leave this as C. C squared. So how did we get delta x? We took the difference between this x value and this x value right here. Okay? See, to get this x value, we had to come straight down. So it was the difference between these two. We went ahead and put this one first. Now, I'm going to say something about that here in just a little bit, about the order. And then we put this one here in. Alright, and then we square it, plus. Now, what about delta y? What about this one here? Okay, that's this difference right here. So we do the exact same thing. We take 2 minus, okay, the y value, which happens to be -2. I'm going to put a parentheses around this, that -2 there, for a good reason. And then we square it. See, we're just putting this stuff right on in, right here. Alright. And now basically, it's nothing more than arithmetic. Okay. Some intermediate algebra. So 4 minus 2 is 2, so this becomes 2 squared. And then this is a minus, and a minus will make that a plus. So 2 plus 2 is 4. That's going to be squared. Right. And then we've got c squared. Okay. So we have 2 squared, which is 4, plus 4 squared is 16. Alright, and then we square root all of that. And so 4 plus 16 is 20. We'll have to follow this down here. Is equal to c. Now we can break this up as to 4 times 5. And then the square root of 4 is 2. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be this distance between here and here. Okay, is 2 times the square root of 5. Alright. So what's the actual formula? Let's write it down right here. I'm going to consider this to be my x1, y1. This is my x sub 2 and y sub 2. Okay? So what was it again? It was x of 2 minus x of 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And what did we do? We square rooted the whole thing. And you know what? Let's just call it d. Since that's what we're finding, the distance. It was the distance between this point and this point here. Okay? Alright, I think we'll end that, and in the next video we're going to work some examples. And now that you know how to come up with the formula here, we'll just we'll work some examples in the next one. Okay? More examples. Alright, see you there.